Eddie, how are you, Gwendolyn? Haven't seen you in a while, have I? Or no, that's awfully nice of you. uh, well, I was walking around. I don't know. You saw my video this morning. I was walking around downtown Washington D.C. amongst all the military people. There were no uh, there were no agitators, it seemed, and there was no people, but lots of military, 25,000 of them. So they were all over. So it looked like, I guess, better safe than sorry. And I guess safe is the right word. Denise, hi, I need help with the PPP loan. I just did a video today, Denise, and that has links in there. This is on YouTube, and I put it on Facebook too. It's already there. I'm usually a little behind putting the YouTubes up there, but it shows you. I found a video of another, consultant kind of guy like me on YouTube, had an interview with the SBA executive who hands out the PPP money. I mean, this is great. I applaud him. That's what I do, is I interview all these bureaucrats all the time. I got hundreds of interviews of bureaucrats that hand out money just to show it's real, and everybody could say, and this is that. No. And that's what I'm trying to do, is get people to go to the bureaucrats and go to the offices. The people giving out the money are the best people to talk to about what to do. Not me. I'm going to guess. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. And who you have to talk to. Now, what I also have in that, Amy, how are you? Amy Renee. What I also have in that video in the description is links to the fellow on the video. Also had an intermediary that helps you apply. And it's a financial service firm that has some kind of little small business financial service subscription thing for like $50, but you don't have to pay for anything, because this guy's getting money to help people. What they do is you call them, hey, and they give you a preliminary thing to fill out whether you could get a PPP or not. And then they pass it on to a bank and real people that vet all these things, and they will tell you. So that's why, forget it. Just go through the process of applying. You will learn all you have to know and get the final definitive answer, instead of asking me or asking other people or whatever. But look at that video of the government person, because he says, apply. He sounds like me. You can't lose by applying. And what he's also saying too, which is that they're doing no credit check on other SBA loans. They do credit checks on this PPP. He's saying, you'll hear it. No, we don't do a credit check. We don't care. We want to get the money out. Well, thank you, Eugene. And so that was interesting, to hear, and so you should hear that too. And then I also gave you a link to his full video, because it's about 45 minutes or so, and you should look at that too, because that will explain a lot of them that he has. He is a Q&A with the head of SBA. And the guy's a nice guy. He seems. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know him at all. But I watched a bunch of his videos, and he's pretty solid. Yeah, there's a lot of these people out there doing videos on YouTube are crazy, man. You won't want anything to do with them. They're crazy. But he does good research, and that to me is the bottom line, and not try to pull the wool over people's eyes. And then you call this other company, they send you a link, and you just start the process. Now you can also go to the bank or other people, and I have a link in there on the SBA will also hook you up with banks that will help you. And then remember, the banks are getting money if you apply. They're getting money from the SBA, so that's why it behooves you, excuse me, to apply, and you don't have to worry about taking their time or whatever. They're getting paid, man. But you're not. You don't get charged for anything to apply. anybody's going to say you need money to apply, just get out of there. You don't need money. I am not impressed with PPP second draw emails and never received the first PPP. You could have, Elizabeth, you could apply to the first PP now. If you haven't applied to first PP and you're looking for the second PPP, oh, go, and the first PP, and you watch that video, it's easier than this second. You don't have to show, that you lost a lot of money or anything. And as an independent contractor, see, I put in the headline of that you don't have to have a business. And it's true, but it's not true. And the problem is so many people think they're not a business when they are a business. If you're making money at home, and you're getting a 1099 or just cash in your pocket or something like that, that's still a business according to the SBA. So you put that on your taxes as a Schedule C, and that's a business. So whether you have 500 employees or just you on the kitchen table, that's a business. Yeah. And no matter what it is, you don't have to have an LLC, you don't have to have an EIN, you don't have to have a PPP. Oh, yes, you do. Especially when you get older. You do that a lot more. Please, miss, somebody is pretending to be you on line. What's line? Online. Oh, I know. I got that all over. There's so many. I mean, I'm getting really disgusted, even on YouTube. That's why I don't have discussions anymore on YouTube unless it's a live chat, because it's people imposing me. Facebook is just full of people, Instagram people that are pretending they're me. And I don't know. I'm actually looking to find a more secure platform than on YouTube. I mean, on Facebook. I'm looking at Mighty Mouse, not Mighty Mouse, Mighty platform, Mighty network, or whatever, and that looks more secure than that. So we made my brother Lesko. How you doing, Betty Watkins? Oh, been a long time, Betty. So it's all over the internet. I watch some of these other guys, like the one I showed you talks about the PPP, and some of these other people say, hey, people are saying they're me, and they have bigger audiences than I have. And people just learn how to scam. I mean, when things are tight, and I think what it is when people are in trouble. So if you can't solve a problem, then that's when the sharks come out to play. They know you're a sucker because, man, you're looking for anything that helps. So they learn the game and say a pretty face, and you can't catch them. Yeah. There's no way. You complain the Attorney General, and it's always good to complain somewhere, at least to your Attorney General in your state about that if you get taken. And so it's in the ether somewhere that person is bad, or that name is bad, or it helps remind people to be careful and just don't take anything like that. Sorry, you are being plagued. Is that what you call it? Plague? Like someone, the plague? Yeah. Well, actually, when you get a little bit famous, then people like to, first of all, they like to beat you up. They say you're an idiot, you're an asshole, and everything. When you're nobody cares if you're an idiot or an asshole, or you have a big nose. If you get a little bit of success, then people love to say all your bad parts. And we all got bad parts, man. I got more bad parts than what? Bad parts than a what? Auto parts store or something. Sharks are out there. Give me all your credentials, and they take away with your appropriation funds. And yeah, it's you just can't trust anybody out there, and don't and it's just safer because it's too hard to unravel. But we're all suckers. I mean, I've gotten that too, like that. I don't know what I got in my throat here, a little stuck. But what I want to tell you about is the first day on the job. Biden, he signed 17 laws, like 5 to 10 hours after he put his hand on the Bible, he made laws. He just, like Trump used to do this all the time and make laws and show you. Then Nancy did one the other day, showed you all that. Well, here, and there's some a little esoteric, but some are not. This is really money in your pocket that Biden already gave us. It's amazing. He's running again already. I think, he's old. he has nowhere to go, but just trying to help people, I would think. I don't know. I'm not inside this guy's head. I know. Okay, here's one. Okay, 17 of them. Okay, I'm gonna go through the list. So you at least you heard it once here. Okay, first of all, he launches, so he signed into law. So that means it's official. 100 days masking challenge, asking Americans to wear masks for 100 days. It requires masks and physical distancing in federal buildings, on federal law lands, and by government contractors, and urges state and local governments to do the same. So what he's saying that he's not making a law, everybody's got to wear a mask. He's making a law that he runs government buildings. So that's his business, right? Everybody works in the government. So he's saying you got to wear a mask if you come in a government building, government land. So you go in a park, going to have to do it, right? So that's one of them. Okay, now here's another one he did. He stops the United States withdrawal from the world. What in the world are we doing? The World Health Organization. And Fauci is becoming the head of the delegation to who is the World Health Organization? And Trump took us out of there. I don't know why. I'm sure it's something to do with money. And we have this, a worldwide crisis, that we all have to sort of figure out a little bit together. So Biden put us back in and put Dr. Fauci, the COVID hero, as the head of the delegation. Okay, so what Trump take away, Biden gives back. Okay. He created a position of COVID-19 response coordinator. So this is a job. So he creates a new job in the government called COVID-19 response coordinator that reports directly to Biden and is managing efforts to produce and distribute vaccines and medical equipment. So this is a traffic cop. So to get all this stuff out to everybody and make sure everybody has it and whatever, because actually I think the last president, what he did is just, okay, we're going to invest in all this vaccine and the states have to worry about what they do. Okay, what he's saying here is they're going to organize it federally and then work with the states that way. Okay, here's another interesting, Here's money in your pocket, okay? Particularly, you have trouble paying rent and mortgage, and you're worried about being evicted or foreclosed. Extends the existing nationwide moratorium on evictions and foreclosures until March 31st, okay? So I think now it's the end of this month, right? So extend it to March 31st. So if you can't pay your rent and your landlord tells you that they can't do that, okay? Now there's certain exceptions or whatever. How do you find that out? Well, if you're covered under that or not, okay? A good place to do is this place called Just Shelter, JUST SHELTER. And what's so good about them, this is a nonprofit organization, .org, Just JUST shelter.org. They have a link on their website to all the free legal help for housing by state. So you go to justshelter.org, click on like local sources, and as a big map of the United States, you click on your state. You have to know where you live. There's a test here. Yeah. And then you see names, address, phone numbers, and websites and everything of free legal help. And every state has a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen of these places. Call them, say, hey, I have 6 months back rent or whatever, or my landlord says this, or holy shit, what am I going to do? And that's for eviction or foreclosure, anything like that. Because again, you can't deal with landlords because it's like you're bringing a knife to a gunfight. They're armed with this. They know the law, whatever. So that's why you need the legal help and to know where you stand and what your rights are. Otherwise, they'll trample over them because they want their money, right? So they'll stretch the law their way. And what you need is to know if that's what they're doing to you is legal or not, and what's your recourse if it isn't, or even if it is. So that's, you have to understand options, and something you don't know about, like rent laws or mortgage laws or all these kinds of things. You don't know. I don't know what the hell you do. So you got to find an expert knows that, so you know your options. Otherwise, you think, well, I could do this. You don't really know, or I don't really know. You have to know the law. And unless you know the law and been studying it in your state, and if your brother-in-law is a lawyer in Pennsylvania, but you live in Louisiana, that's going to help you in nothing. So that's why they have all the help locally. And so you call them. Okay. So that's postponed till March 31st. Okay. So that's nice. Okay. Here's another one. How many's got student loans? Actually, I don't. I went to college before they had student loans. Okay, what they did for student loans, they extend the existing pause. See, what's now, if you have a student loan, you don't have, it's paused on student loan payments and interest. So it's not even accumulating interest. You're not paying nothing and not accumulating more interest on student loans. For Americans with federal student loans until, listen to this, September 30th. So we got mortgage and rent is March 31st. I'm going to write that down because there may be a test tomorrow. Wondering how I'm going to, March 31st for mortgages, right, and rent. And what is it for student loans? Right, September 30th. Okay, that's what it is. So remember those 2 dates. You don't have to pay bupkis on your student loans, and you're not even accumulating interest. So they just pause the whole thing. Why? Because everybody's in deep doo-doo. That's why. And we're trying to help each other out here. Okay, now here's some more of those. We rejoined the Paris Climate Accord, a process that will take 30 days. Okay, so he signed into law that we're going back to Paris, especially if it's April. You know, because April's coming up. Everybody wants to go to Paris in April, right? So that's probably why you joined the Paris Accord, because they want to go do April in Paris, right? I mean, it's beautiful in April. So we're going back, and this is the green stuff. What's his name? Who was the last guy here? Oh, Trump. That's his name. Yeah, Trump. He took us out of Paris Accord. Again, it was a money thing that nobody paid him, and I don't know what the hell why, but he did. Okay, so we're back in there. So we're going to play nice with the rest of the world now, is I guess what it means. Okay, they canceled the Keystone XL pipeline and direct agencies to review and reverse more than 100 Trump actions on environment. Okay, so I guess Trump made 100 laws about the environment. And I guess they were less conservational. So Biden's going to have somebody look at all those and see which ones are worth turning back. Okay. And this is another interesting one. Biden is rescinding the Trump administration's 1776 commission and directs agencies to review their actions to ensure racial equality. 1776, I mean, I don't know enough about it, but I think it was something Trump did. He wanted to change the way we teach history. It was something, slavery wasn't so bad or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, there were no historians on this commission. So anyway, he's going back and getting rid of that. Prevents workplace discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. You know, the he, she, it, they, kind of thing. So you can't discriminate for that. And, now we have transitions. I mean, it's a complicated issue out there with gender. So he's being more sensitive to that, let's say. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is interesting. Requires non-census, this is another one, non-citizens to be included in the census and apportionment for a congressional district. Okay, we do the census every 10 years to find out how many people in every state, so we know how many representatives have. Okay, now The last president decided, hey, why are we counting people who are here? They shouldn't be here, And so he passed that. He signed one of these magic tablets again that made it law. Okay, Biden came in and he said, oh no, we're changing our mind back to what it was. So now non-citizens will be counted in the census as part of how many representatives. And what's really more important to me in the counting in the census is that's how grants are given out. So that's why, if you didn't fill out a census form, you probably prevented about $18,000 in grants from coming to your state, because that's about how much everybody gets on the average in grants. And they proportion those grants out depending on how many people in the state. So if they don't count you, that's the less money that they're going to get in the next budget. So that's why it was very important, I think, particularly if people are interested in grants. Okay, immigration fortifies DACA, DACA, after Trump's effort to undo protections and for undocumented people brought into the country as children. Remember DACA? There were the kids that the parents brought them here, and the parents are not citizens. So I guess must have been who's before Trump? Obama said, okay, now we're giving these kids a pass, okay? And Trump came in, no, we're not. So now again, yes, well, how'd you like to be a DACA kid? Am I here legally? Am I not here legally? Am I going to see my folks? Am I going to go back to Mexico or whatever? Yeah, wow. So that is going back. Okay. Immigration reverses Trump administration restrictions for U.S. entry for passport holders from 7 minority Muslim countries. Okay, I guess you couldn't come into the country into USA from certain Muslim countries. So he's getting rid of that. Okay, immigration again. Undoes Trump's expansion of immigration enforcement within the United States. I guess Trump was putting more, non-citizen immigrants in jail or something like that. So, okay. So he's not, okay, immigrant. Oh, here's another one on immigration. He halts construction on the wall, terminating the national emergency declaration used to fund it. I guess what the last president did, he said, oh, this is an emergency, we need a wall. And he got money somehow, and did it. And so what Biden's doing is saying, no more emergency, can't do it. So somebody declares emergency. It's neat how people, I black isn't black anymore. Whites, I'm not sure about. All this kind of stuff. I mean, when we have a court that supposedly interprets the law, this amazes me. So we have 9 people, these judges in the federal court, and half of them think one thing on a law, and the other think the opposite. How is that? I thought maybe there'd be something on the edges, but how could it be black and white? Oh boy. Anyway. It's interesting life, isn't it? Okay, extends deferrals of deportation and work authorizations for Liberians with a safe haven in the United States until June 30th, 2022. I guess if you're Liberian, you worry about it. And so I don't know when they were supposed to go back, but they're not. Ethics requires executive branch appointees to sign an ethics pledge, barring them from acting in personal interest and requiring them to uphold the independence of the Department of Justice. So everybody that works in the executive branch has to now, I think it's probably the elected officials, because they're like 6,000 or something like that, political appointee jobs, when a new president comes in. So all these new people come in, they have to sign this saying that they can't act in personal interest. That's going to be a little tough, but and to uphold the independence of the Department of Justice. I think the last president wanted to make Department of Justice his personal lawyer, and it's supposed to be, justice for all. Okay, one more. directs OMB, Office of Management and Budget. They're sort of like the accountants in the government. They're the bean counters and stuff. They have great reports. That's where I find out a lot of grants nobody knows about. You find out what these bean counters find, and they publish hundreds of reports every day, every month, every year, whatever. So it directs OMB director to develop recommendations to modernize regulatory review and undoes Trump's regulatory approval process. I guess Trump must have put in something about approving a regulation, change the approval process, and he's changing it back. Okay, so they're the 17. So the two you really want to know are, what are the dates? Come on, test time. Now, don't cheat. Don't look at the book. What is it? What is it for student loans? When? How much longer do you have not to pay? I know, sister. I know. March 31st. Yay, Matthew! You did it right. Yay, Matthew. Okay, so it's March 31st for student loans. Okay, now class, when do you have forgiveness for? Did I say it right? Was it loan? Forgiveness for rent and mortgages, so they can't evict you. Okay, who has that? And there should be mandatory hazardous pay. September 30. Yes, Gene's right. Yay! She's right. Damn, I didn't put my hand up fast enough. Oh boy, well, I'm going to stay after class and clean the erasers for the teacher. That will get me a passing grade. And I remember in college, I was so bad at English, I never learned to write or anything. Now they have 2 New York Times bestsellers. I still didn't learn. I plagiarized from the government. But I used to go, I went to school in Milwaukee at Marquette, and my English teacher in freshman year also was from my hometown of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, knew best friends of my sister and all this kind of stuff. Well, I would walk after class to her to church every day, and I still couldn't get a passing grade. That's how bad I was. It was amazing. But yeah, I hated school. But then, and when the military came back, got an MBA and was all A's. So, when you want to do it, you do it. When you don't want to do it, man, you ain't going to do it. I used to live in Milwaukee, right? Ardmore Bar. I used to live above the Ardmore Bar. Man, Milwaukee at the time was like a church and a bar, a church and a bar, a church and a bar. Yeah. Well, grades or not, you seem to have, you're right. When my first book made the New York Times bestseller list, I tried to call that English teacher who flunked me at Marquette. I told you it didn't matter. Crazy or not. You seem to have worked out. Yeah. I just need to know if there are any relief for mortgage or missed payment. Yeah. Okay. Now there's one big program that was passed last week, and it's winding its way to the local level. That means your cities and counties and states. And it's called Emergency Rental Assistance Program. Write this down. It's called Emergency Rental Assistance Program. It's from the Treasury Department. And it's for rent and for utility payments. So if you're behind in those or worried about paying them in the next couple of months, they pay for up to like $20,000 or more. Okay, now it's a certain amount of money. It's not going to be there very long. So what you want to do is you have to find out where that is locally. You just can't call up and say, I'm looking for rent grants. Oh, we used to have them, but they're not here anymore. Because that's what you're going to get a lot, and you can't, that's not the truth. Every city, every county is going to have soon, probably within the next few weeks, Emergency Rental Assistance Program money. It's brand new money, $25 billion, but it's going to go quickly. Mortgage, no, this isn't mortgage. You'll have to find local stuff for that. This is for rent and utilities. But there is mortgage money, but that now is local. So now this is a national program I'm talking about. Now you have a lot of other rent, other mortgage, other utility programs that are local. And what you need to do is go through that list. Members, just tell me what state you're in, and I'll give you the list of who to check to find those local programs. If you're in watch me on YouTube, I'll put a list in the description, so you could just download that list and you call every one of those people. Now here, I just got a letter from a member, Let's Go Help member today. Now this is very important, at least it is to me, because this is what I think everybody has to do. This is what I think finding money, finding help, finding the good thing, the important things you need in life requires what I'm going to read to you. Okay, this is from a Mr. Grafton. And the title says, "Pick up the phone and call." Have you heard that somewhere? Over the past month, I've called 3 places to get help with emergency rental assistance program. That's the one I'm talking about. Under the new stimulus package. Okay. I called the first place, Community Action Committee, and they referred me to another place because they only help families with children. Called the second place, Volunteer Ministries, and they told me that they're working with funds from the first stimulus package, but only have funds available for county residents outside my city, but gave me another number to call. This is what it takes. This is what it takes. You call, you hear no, and then you ask them where else. You have to do that. If you're not doing that, you're going to go on the internet and just go around in circles and still get nothing. Okay, now here he goes on again. Called the third place. Now listen to this. And left 8 messages over 3 weeks. Called it 8 times. Okay, a normal person will call 2 and never call them again, right? But no call back until today. This is why he was happy. Finally got a call after calling 8 times. See, this is the kind of effort work takes. 8 times. The woman told me they haven't received any new funds, but she could help with my utilities. We then agreed that it would be best to wait and that she would call me back on the 1st of February to see if the new grant money funds have arrived. Okay, so that she knows it's coming. February 1. Okay, says she called him. Now here's the interesting. In addition, she gave me her cell phone. She gave me her cell phone number and personal email to follow up if she doesn't call me on the 1st. Plus, she gave me the number to 2 more places I've never heard of that receives funding as well to follow up with. See? And all I do is say emergency rental assistance program, and you have to do the rest of this. See? Otherwise, you ain't going to get it because you're going to say, oh, there's no rental assistance program. I looked. It's not there. Yeah, Let's Go's full of shit. I probably am, but still there's money there. Okay, now there's the second part. Moral of the story. As Let's Go says, pick up the phone and follow up. You never know who you'll meet, what type of connections you'll make, and what new leads you'll gather. It may be frustrating, but these people are swamped. Patience is the key. See, and that's why, boy, I've been doing this, 30, 40 years or whatever. So I'm familiar with that. But see, talking, and people don't want to hear that. And that's why, see, as a salesman and selling something to you, I want to make you believe it's easy. That, hey, see, that's what it's going to take. It may not. You may get lucky. But more than not, it's going to take that, But if someone's going to give you $5,000 to pay 6 months of back rent or whatever the heck it is, where else are you going to make that? By making 8 phone calls. Yeah, I pick up the phone. It's hard to do. It's scary. Yeah, Jane, it is. And then there's another nice woman that's a member. Uh, she said, yeah, you got to put on your big boy pants and make that call. And she was the same way. And she's very talented, a resourceful lady. And she said, but until she made the call, nothing worked. And that's why, how do I get people to do that? And I think I could do it more if you try that, and if you're a member, tell us back how that happened and how long it take. So, yeah, I mean, see, once you hear 8 calls, and when that may take, well, what's 8 calls? 8 calls probably took you, what, 20 minutes, if that? Because you didn't get any help or information. So not a whole lot of time, but I'm not calling again. See, boy, it's all about perseverance, and that's why I'm wearing hearts now. Well, actually, this is more question mark. Oh, there's some hearts, see, because question marks are sure about, you have to know the questions to ask, right? See, and that's why you're calling about the emergency rental assistance program. Do you have, if you just call and say, do you have any grants for rent? And they say no. Well, I guess there are none around in the world, all right? Look at what he found. Boy, this will get me up in the morning because people have to know this. Dang, is there any program giving out gas cards? Well, don't forget the people who I'm going to put in here for financial assistance. There's a group of people in every state. There's about 7 or 8 organizations in every state whose job it is to help people with financial problems. Okay, that's all they're supposed to do. So they get paid by grant money to help you for free, to help you to know about the programs, or maybe they have money themselves to do. So if it's gas, to pay gas, okay, you need financial assistance. So that's where you would go, is to call these 7 places, and I'll put it in the, if you're on YouTube, I'll put it there, and I'll put it in the title too on Facebook, so you guys have it. And if you don't have it, just start a new discussion. See, all you do is start a new discussion. Tell me what problem you have, and tell me what state you live in. Because if you tell me your state, then I could better show you exactly who to call. If you don't tell me your state, then it gets a little muddy, and I have to guess or send you 500 places, and that will screw you up more. What about credit glitches from years ago? Yes, there's those same 8 places, or where to call. Anything, credit repair, credit glitches. It's these same organizations, because you're not alone if you have that problem. So that's why, as a community, the government acts to try to solve problems that are prevalent in the community. We're worried about people, attacking us, so we have an army, right? We're worried about pandemics, so we invest in virus drugs. Live in Iowa. Where are you posting the info on YouTube? In the description. So later on, after I finish this, I'll put it in the description on YouTube, and I'll put the link onto Facebook. And remember, Facebook group people, just ask me questions every day. I mean, I that's the way I learn what you need, and I could work on how to package stuff for you. You make me smart by asking me a question, and more importantly, it makes me feel good that maybe something I have could help you solve some kind of problem. And I think there's nothing more important for me to do with my life right now except do that. If I could help somebody, even if it's a little bit, or even if it doesn't work or whatever, and that it may help you and get through this life a little easier. I mean, we all struggle in this shit that we're all part of, right? And so if what I know after these 40 years, and I don't have as many years left as a lot of you do. So I want to spend as much time possible, getting this information out and trying to organize it so it's here after I go. and that's the most important. I don't need more suits or all this other stuff. It is I mean, having a purpose in life to get up and enjoy what you're doing. I feel I'm the most spoiled person in the world, and it's because of you. You know, if you didn't want it, then it's sort of like loving somebody and they don't love you back. I mean, that's tough. You know, so that's why I appreciate you guys very much, because it's nice to have that feedback come back, and that gives me energy like nothing else. So I thank you very much for everything. By the way, in somebody, I forget, Melissa, Messa, somebody was going to do a Marissa, Kathleen. Are you on? Are you here, Marissa? Where are you, Marissa? Are you here today? You wanted to work on the, I wanted to sell, I'm on Printville with all of these stuff. I'd like to start a store up there. If somebody is interested in starting a store and sharing the revenue in a way or whatever, because I appreciate you very much. Thank you, Elizabeth. So I guess Melissa isn't there. She mentioned before. And also you can always reach me, mortgage modification company. What should I hire one? No, go to the free services first. Don't go one of these. I'm a member, still haven't heard anything. Well, you have to do something. I live in Arlington, Texas. Trouble finding on Facebook. I'm 47 years old. Now here's the website on Facebook, because then you should be all set up here. www.com/group. So that's facebook.com/group/let's go help. And if you need me, and if Marissa, Kathleen is there too, let me know. Let's go free radio at gmail.com. Okay. Where did you want to start a store? Oh, you are, Lisa? Email me, okay? Just I don't know what I think. Like a Shopify store or something like that. I am banned from Facebook. So am I. Like I just started another, whatever it is. I want to start a store in Florida. No, this would be on the internet, not a retail store, but on the internet to sell, copies of the stuff I'm wearing. Hey, single mom from Brooklyn, and to move on. Oh, that's the other thing, unemployment. Make sure you apply what's called the pandemic unemployment. This is new. There's a new pandemic. I forget what the name they call it. But there's 3 new pandemic unemployments. And so they all extended it. And the pandemic unemployment now is really, you didn't even have to have a job to get this. It depends. So apply anyway. That's another way. Even if you think you shouldn't get it, just go apply. You can't hurt. That's the important thing. You're a great one, Joe. Thank you. Fred, can I help you set up a store? I used to have dozens of them. No, not really a store, an internet store. Yeah, send me an email. And to sell, I mean, they do print on demand, Printful. All my stuff is in print, Printful. Is there help for someone that may lose a home for back property taxes? Yes, David. What you want to do is see what they have. So whoever collects your property taxes where you live, talk to them first and see what programs they have. They may have a way, they only have to pay part of it or something like that. See, and if there's nothing good there for you, then go to your elected official, because they're all deal making. See, right now, everybody's in trouble, okay? And the government doesn't use their own money, right? So it comes out of, Disneyland or somewhere, I don't know. And they're being more reasonable with things like this now. But you have to just not read and say that's law. No, you read, talk to somebody. Hey, what other options are because I can't pay this? They'll tell you the options. Okay. Now, if those options don't work for you, then you call your elected official. You have 2 senators, you have a congressman or whatever, and you say, hey, I'm screwed. I can't do this, and get them, because they can make those laws bend. That's what elected officials are for. Thanks for what about, and also apply to the pandemic. So what you want to do is, say you live in Michigan. Okay, go Google apply unemployment, pandemic unemployment Michigan, and you'll find the website there, and just start filling it out. I mean, you could be a caretaker and get unemployment. They change the rules every day. If you applied once before and they said no, do it again. They changed it. Mortgage modification, maybe some are, but don't do that first. Don't go to mortgage modifications first, because they're all making money. You want to get some free advice to know your options from somebody who's not making money out of the decision. You talk to mortgage modification company, and they'll tell you they have 50 reasons why you should do this, and they practice that every day. You're doing it once. You're not armed well enough, so you got to go to an independent person who knows all that kind of stuff and can give you the right advice. And there's people. You could go to HUD.gov, and when you go to HUD.gov, put in counselors, and when you see counselors, you see a map of the United States counselors. You find counselors, they're all free. And they know all this stuff. Yeah, I live in Kansas. Where can I get help with the rent? Okay, you missed it. I gotta go now, but it is the. Oh, we covered it. Emergency Rental Assistance Program. Okay, and it's a new program. And I just read you about how it took 8 phone calls for somebody to find it. It's going to be tough to find it, but it's brand new. It may not even be there yet, but you have to get in the front of the line or you're going to miss it. Okay. And I'm going to when I log out either tonight or tomorrow morning, you'll find in the description of the video, I'll have a link that will give you all the places for every state in the United States to call to start looking where these programs may be for anything to do with, your finances. And like I say, now when you call them, you also have to ask them about what else if they don't have it. And I read you if you weren't here, go back and listen to the whole thing again. It's a great story about how to do it. Losing my voice, I gotta go. I'm an old guy. We're way past happy hour. Way past, what do you call that stuff for the old farts 5 o'clock dinner, I forget. But they're all over Florida for old people who have dinner early. Okay, those are interested in setting up a store for me to sell funky clothes, please email me, letsgofreeradio@gmail.com. I just want to sell my stuff. That's it. And I'd be happy to share it with you. Okay. Good. Thank you so much. And thank you again for everything that you give me by just being there. I will, Tony. Thank you.